good evening, good afternoon, it's Jessie here, good Tuesday Submariner, and it is Sunday. I should be doing work, but I'm going to film this Q&A because, literally, there are so many questions. In the last video, I said that I wanted to get 10 questions. Something like 21 people commented on the video, but with multiple questions. I'm grateful for it. Oh my god! I'm really looking forward to this because this is probably going to be like the best Q&A I've ever done. There's so many questions. So yeah, let's get started! First questions come from our good friend Lubna. Lubna, love you mate, thanks for asking me questions. Number 1, favourite Beatles solo album? That is probably going to have to be All Things Must Pass by George Harrison because I literally cannot fault the album. I love it. Favourite American foodie thing out of Miss Maddie Macca's package that she sent? I really liked Jolly Ranchers. I've never had them before that point. Oh, I love them so much. And lastly, you get to pick one Beatle to hang out with for a whole week. Which one is it? It will probably have to be George, because I think he'd be good at conversation and he's the coolest, so yeah. Next question comes from Ellie Louise. She says, "Hiya, loving your videos. Aw, opinion on Revolution 9? I don't mind it." And then she also asks, would you rather talk to George about religion or John about politics? And since I don't like politics, I'll probably have to talk to George about religion. I'm not religious myself, but I think it would be interesting, and all my answers seem to be revolving George, so. Next one comes from Sabrina Vallejo, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it is, how did you become a Beatlemaniac and when? The story behind me becoming a Beatlemaniac is that I heard it in my mum's car. She was playing it once when I was driving back from my grandparents' house. Probably about 5 years ago now. I was like, oh my god, what is this? This is amazing. I think it was I Am the Walrus because I thought the lyrics were really funny. Yeah, that's my little story. This next question comes from Sony Vegas Pete, who asks, what do you think, on average, a hardcore Beatles fan's thoughts are towards Yoko Ono? She certainly seemed to have made John's life happier. I think a lot of Beatlemaniacs have like a mixed opinion on Yoko Ono. Personally, I don't mind her. I think she's quite cool. I think a lot of people think that she interfered a bit with the Beatles and the breakup, but at the end of the day, I think they were on their way to breaking up anyway. I think they'd had their time. That's my opinion, you know. I don't think she's that bad. She did make John's life a lot happier. This next person, the Brick Spot, has asked me 5 questions. There's so many! Okay. Number 1, what is your favourite track from the anthologies, excluding Free as a Bird and Real Love? Okay, so the 2 favourites I have from the anthologies are 2 complete opposites. It's either What's the New Mary Jane or Like Dreamers Do. I really like both of those songs. Can't decide which. Next question. If you had access to every Beatles recording ever, but you could only choose one recording to keep, which one would you pick? Oh my god, why? Probably have to be Real Love. I don't know whether that counts because it's like a re-release, but I love that song so much. Never gonna get tired of that song, it's so good. Next question is, what Beatles song do you think have the best harmonies? Obviously Because comes into mind because that's just like beautiful. I'm not sure. Probably Because. I tried to recreate Because once and it might have been the most painful thing I've ever heard. But it's good when the Beatles do it. What is one Beatles song a lot of people don't like or overlook that you love? I really like What Goes On from Rubber Soul. I think it's because when I first heard it I was like, oh my god, I love Ringo so much, and I loved that song. And obviously Ringo songs are overlooked quite a lot, I think. The last one from the Brick Spot is, do you think the Beatles ended their career at the right time? Personally, I think they did, because they'd already made a lot of stuff. There seemed to be a lot of tensions rising, and they finished it with some really good albums, and I think it was the right time, yeah. And Matt Reed has also asked 5 questions. I might have to do this video in 2 parts. So yeah, I might do this in 2 parts. What is your favourite album ever by any artist? The Beatles are very up there at the top, but my favourite album ever is The Queen Is Dead by the Smiths, because Smiths are like my favourite band apart from the Beatles. Matt also asks, who is your favourite singer in the Beatles? I really like John's voice. I think that he has a really unique voice. Sounds like there's a bit of pain behind it, but it's good, you know? What is your least favourite Beatles song? If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Think For Yourself. I don't know why, I just don't like it as much as the other ones. Do you prefer the Beatles' early work or later work? I really like the later work, oh my god. I'd say 1965 onwards, probably starting with Rubber Soul, that's probably my favourite, but I have respect for the earlier stuff because they were like a boy band and yeah. Also, do you like Genesis? If so, what's your favourite album? Honestly, I don't think I've ever really listened to Genesis before. Sorry. Titus Mead asks, favourite Bowie era? Mine would probably have to be mid-70s-ish. He also asks, what's my favourite Bowie album? And that would probably have to be Space Oddity, which is his first like big hit. From I think it's 1969. It's got some of my favourite songs on it by him. It's so good. So underrated. He also asked what's my favourite Smiths album. It's so hard to pick a favourite Smiths album, but it would probably have to be The Queen Is Dead, as I said earlier. But all the Smiths albums are like on the same level because I love them all so much. And favourite scene in A Hard Day's Night. I really like the one with Can't Buy Me Love when they're all dancing around in the field. I think that's such a cute and like fun scene. It's so nice and they're all so cute. Okay, Brian Smith asks, when did you become a Beatlemaniac? I answered that in a few questions back. It was like 5 years ago-ish. It's probably about 12 and I'm 17 now, so. BeatleCat1 asks, if you could have been one of the Beatles, who would it have been, assuming John and George were still alive? If I could be one of the Beatles, God, it would definitely be George. He's such a cool guy, and he had the coolest house. If you haven't seen his house, search his house on Google. It's, oh my god, it's like a mansion. It's crazy. Beatles Instruments and More asks, kind of a strange question, but since you live in the UK, I thought it would be interesting. If you could have any Beatles album or compilation that wasn't released in the UK, what would it be? Oh my god, it would probably have to be Meet the Beatles, which is like, I think it's with the Beatles cover on it, but it's Meet the Beatles. I think that would be a cool one to own. That's the only one I could think of right now. Andre Alvarez asks, 1, do you play any instruments? I do. I play the ukulele. And 2, how do the Beatles inspire you? They're all about peace and love, and they were sort of that generation which really promoted that in the late 60s. So that's probably it, and sort of like being yourself and not caring what other people think, that sort of stuff. Danielle Ferreira asks, if you could find the Beatles, what would be your reaction? Oh my god, I'd probably faint and freak out and try and get a selfie and like get it on Snapchat and record a video, and yeah. I'm such a modern 21st century person. What would you ask each of them? I'd probably ask to Ringo whether he really like cared about being right at the back of the stage, because he always looked quite sad. To John, I would ask who his favourite author is, because I like reading books and so does he, so I'd ask who his favourite author is. To George, I would ask whether he could sing me something, because it's George. Paul, I would ask if I could see Martha, because Martha's a really cute dog. Danielle also asked, do you remember what was your first song you heard of them? What was it? It was I Am the Walrus. Danielle asks, what is your favourite song, album, movie, hairstyle, year, moment in career, solo, career, and Beatle? My favourite song, I'm presuming it's Beatles song, is Real Love. Favourite album is the White Album. Favourite Beatles movie is probably Let It Be. Favourite hairstyle, probably the 1966 sort of like half mopped up, half like going into a different look type thing. Year is probably 1967. Moment in career, when they performed on the rooftop in Let It Be. Solo career, probably George Harrison. And Beatle, right now, is my favourite's George. Oh my god, Danielle, that's so many. Dude, after I finish Danielle's, I am going to cut it off and then I'm going to do the rest next week. So if I haven't answered yours this week, I'm really sorry. What is your favourite Beatle girl? I really like Linda. I think she's absolutely lovely. Lovely Linda. What is the album cover you like best and least favourite? The album cover I like best is probably Magical Mystery Tour. I think that's a really cool one. It's different. Least favourite is probably, I don't know, White Album, because there's nothing on it. What song makes you cry more and what song makes you happy more? The song that makes me cry is Long 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 by George on the White Album. That makes me cry so much. And the one that makes me happy is probably Hello Goodbye. Yeah, definitely. What was your favourite song in solo career? Crackerbox Palace. Karen, Jamie and Maddie know because a few months ago I sent them a Snapchat of me crying to Crackerbox Palace. Oh my god! I haven't jammed to George in so long and it's making me cry! Because I hadn't listened to it in so long. I love that song. Or I really like Old Dirt Road by John Lennon as well. What is your favourite? George's guitar solo, Paul's bass solo, or Ringo's drum solo? Ringo's drum solo because he doesn't get that much. I feel sorry for him. Could you describe the Beatlemania? God, no, I definitely couldn't. It's too crazy and I have no idea. Yeah, I'm really sorry if I haven't answered your questions in this video. I will be uploading the next lot next week. To come next week is Noah Suggs, Victoria Schubert, Daisy Campbell, Macca Harrison, Joanna Palmer, Ellie the Archer, and Dr. Alana. I will answer those questions next week. I'm going to film that now though, because it's getting to 20 minutes long now and it's ridiculous. Thank you to everyone who's asked me questions. It's been so fun. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Don't forget to watch my video next week. I will be uploading the next part. Peace and love. Bye bye now.